My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. My dear friends, I hope you are doing well. My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. Dear friends, I hope you're all doing well. My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. I hadn't realized that I had created a sort of slogan or catchphrase for myself until a dear friend pointed it out to me as he showed me the remix that had been created of me saying, my dear friends, I hope this finds you well. Maybe after Tisha B'Av we'll release the track. But, when he showed this to me, it was something that, now in hindsight, it's so clear that I start off every time saying, my dear friends, I hope this finds you well. But I wasn't conscious of it. I wasn't aware of it. And there are these words that I just said. And I think there's a very good reason why I start off with the same thing, before I launch into whatever diatribe that I have each week. I use something familiar. It kind of centers me, it focuses me. It's a familiar starting ground, and then I can move from there. But unfortunately, with repetition, it almost becomes a meaningless catchphrase. And, maybe initially, that I always hope everything finds you well. But when I utter those words, maybe the first time I said them, they had that deep focus and kavana. But since then, it's just become a catchphrase. And we need to rescue our words from catchphrases and slogans. And we know this all too well within religious life. In religious life, our lives are filled with catchphrases and slogans and words all the time. And because we say them often, then they sometimes lose their meaning, and we need to reclaim them. We have, of course, begun Sefer Devarim, Book of Words. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe turns to the people and begins to share many words. And this is quite a remarkable transition for Moshe, because if you remember, at the beginning of Moshe's career, he's turned to Hashem. He said, Lo ish dvarim anochi, I'm not a man of words. He wasn't eloquent, and yet here we have a whole book which is just his words. So there's a transformation that Moshe goes through. And Rabbi Jonathan Sacks says beautiful piece on this concept of words. He talks about how at the highest form of expression of words, this is where we meet God. He says the highest form of expression is not where we are spoken to. God doesn't speak to us, but rather God speaks through us. God speaks through us. And so Moshe, here he has this opportunity, has this moment, this experience of God speaking through him, he shares these words, these powerful words that last forever. He speaks them through Moshe, and Moshe's words, each one is powerful and each one is meaningful. And we learn from this. We need to take back our words, that the words that we share are meaningful and powerful. Rabbi Sacks brings the incredible opening to the Shona Esrei, to the Amidah prayer. We say, Hashem sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tilatecha. Hashem, open up my lips so that my mouth can say your praise. An amazing thing. We recognize that it is God that is opening up our mouths in order for us to be able to pray. Prayer is something where we're trying to take back those words, especially if we're so used to, we do it 3 times a day, we mutter these words, they're so powerful, but yet what happens? With that commonality, with that, the ritual and the routine, it loses its meaning, so we need to reclaim it. Just earlier today when my friend pointed out, this little catchphrase of mine, and he thankfully gave me the video for this week as well. I realized when he told me about it, and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty funny, actually, and I got a good chuckle out of it. But it stopped me in my words, and it got me to think about the way in which I use words. And we have these experiences in life where we actually have to stop. where we stop and we say, how am I using my words? How am I living my life? Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av, what we're about to go through, Shabbat Chazon, Tisha B'Av, the mourning over all the destruction in this world and all the difficulty in this world. It's an opportunity for pause and to stop and to look at the way in which we are living our lives. Are we fully dedicating ourselves to the rebuilding of this world, to the rebuilding of the temple? And it's important sometimes. It shouldn't be through tragedy. We should have moments like Shabbat. Shabbat also, we step away from the normal routine and we look at how we live our lives. We need to give ourselves these space to step away from the routine, step away from catchphrases, to reclaim our words, to reclaim our time, to reclaim how we live our lives so that they are all meaningful. What we are doing is meaningful and focused and purposeful. And so with that, my dear friends, I really hope this finds you well. From the bottom of my heart, I hope that wherever you are listening to this, that you are finding this well, it is finding you well, and that you are doing well. And I hope that together we can reclaim our words, reclaim our time, reclaim what it is that we are doing here, recommit ourselves to the building and the healing of this world to bring us to that ultimate redemption, peace and love and connection for all of humanity. And with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.